Good morning. Today it's time for a repair that I've put off for probably a year and a half. And I've run out of excuses. So let me show you what's going on. About 6 or 8 years ago, I believe, we had this fence installed and I built this gate. And then about a year and a half ago, we got new neighbors. Oops, almost fell down. And there's our helper for today, who put in a new wall, a new fence, and during the process they pulled this post over to meet their fence, and so now it's not even. So instead of trying to pull that post and get it even, which I don't even think I can do because they pinned it on their side of the fence, I think what I'm going to do instead is pull the gate off the hinges and then re-drill new holes and hopefully level it out a little bit, and then I'm going to have to redo this post, which has come loose over the years. So that's the plan. The current plan is to remove all the bolts on the upper hinge, and then on the lower hinge, since the cross piece is all the way up against the hinge, what I'm planning on doing is removing all except that bolt. So I can swing the fence, tilt it, or swing the gate and tilt it to get the proper angle until it's level, and then I'll rebolt them. That's the thinking. We'll see what happens. Well, plan A is out. We're level, and there's just this huge gap hinged on that. So this is not happening. So plan B is to pull the whole thing off and then just rip a wedge down that to bring it back up to level. By the way, I should add, nobody uses this fence except us, so I don't really care what it looks like. I'm just after the least amount of work possible to make it so our dog can't escape when the mood strikes her. All right, I think plan B is out as well. I started marking a line up this, a wedge-shaped line up this, and it's difficult, and it's going to be tough to cut it. So I think I'm gonna have to do what I didn't want to do, which is pull all those slats off and just re-level the whole thing. All right, the slats are off. So now what I'm gonna do before I pull this thing completely off is I'm just going to put my level up there and plumb, and then figure out what kind of wedge I've got to cut off of that to make it more or less level. So here are my marks right there. I got to cut that wedge on that one and the same on that one, and let's give it a go. All right, this is plan F. I didn't discuss plan D and E. Let's just say it didn't work out. So I can't take this cross brace off because one of the screws snapped off. So I'm going to try and trim it here, hang these up, and hopefully that'll work. Well, plan F was a success. I basically had to pull the whole gate apart, which I didn't want to do, but that's what I did. And then put it back together so that this top piece is pretty much level. That gap shows up there. I may close that up at one point with a wedge of wood, but to be honest with you guys, it's not a high priority. Nobody uses this except the workers around here, which consists of myself and my wife. So I got rid of the latch, I got rid of the pole that was here. I'm gonna have to paint that. And I had this lying around, these rubber stops. So I just tacked a 2x4 onto the top, and so you can get to this from both sides. And it's not pretty, but it works. I didn't have to go to the hardware store. Used all the parts here. Done.